We've had a great request from Alex to draw a ring-tailed lemur, so that's what we're going to be drawing. Get yourself some plain white paper, a pencil, a pen, an eraser, and your choice of colouring pencils. Let's get started. We're going to start our ring-tailed lemur with an oval shape, and it's going to be slightly tilted. You'll see what I mean. This is going to be the body. So just a long oval shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. These are just the preparatory lines so that we know what we're going to do. Now for the head, which is going to be a small circle here. And remember, if I go too fast, just hit pause and rewind. Sometimes it's best to watch the whole thing through and then go back and watch it again, pausing. Let's add some little ears. They're just triangle shapes here. One on this side and one on this side. Now we're going to add its little bottoms. So just add an extension of the oval shape that we did before, but we're going to come up and draw the leg. There we go. It's crouching down. So just draw something like that. And now for the front leg, which is just going to come down and round like this. And we're going to do the other front leg. So it just comes down and then round like that as well. Let's add some eyes. So just a dot here and a dot there and a triangle shape for the muzzle area. Now for the famous tail, which is actually longer than the body, we're going to start just here. So just draw a curvy line going all the way up, and a little bit more. And then we're going to come all the way down, all the way down. Try and keep the same width all the way down. I know mine's not, but we can only try, can't we? There we go. Now we're going to draw what it's sitting on, and it's going to be a trunk of a tree that's fallen down. So let's just put in something like that so that we know kind of what we're doing. Come down to here and then like so. Okay, I'm going to switch to pen, but please do carry on in pencil. This is just so that you can see it better on camera. We're going to start off with the fluffy ears. So let's just do some fluffy ears. And the way that I do fluffy kind of lines is by doing these little dashes like that. Can you see that? And then a couple of dashes on the other side. And then the same on this side. Just like that. We're then going to do the top of the head and then come round like that. And then we're going to do the little fluffy cheeks and then come down. And then the same on the other side. Fluffy cheeks and then come down. Going to add in the eyes. Just doing them a little bit lower than I did in the preparatory ones. Add a dot and a dot. There we go. And now we're going to be doing the little nose. So it's going to be in the darkened area. When we come to colour it in, we'll know what we're doing. Now for the body. So we're going to carry on with these little fluffy lines to there, and then we're going to go back out and join this oval shape that we did before in the preparatory line. Come all the way around to here. I'm going to draw a line going up slightly, and then we're going to be doing the rest of the leg, which is just tucked round. There we go. So now we're going to be doing the arm. So the ring-tailed lemur comes from the rainforest of Madagascar. That's an island off the east coast of Africa. And unlike the other types of lemur, they spend 40% of their time on the forest floor. Just doing their little paws just here. And then a little thumb there. They look very much like hands. So just coming up and round. I'm going to follow this all the way up to the top. Now we're going to do their fluffy chest. So I'm using these little dashes. Can you see that? Coming all the way down. All way down to there. We're going to add in the other shoulder. You can just see it peeping out from behind. And then the other hand, which is just coming here. Don't know whether to call them paws or hands. You know what I mean. Okay, and then we're going to draw in the tree bark that's just here, okay? So just draw a wiggly line coming down. And then we're going to put in the other little foot, just here. So did you know that a group of ring-tailed lemurs is called a troop? It's not called a ring, it's called a troop. So we're just going to carry on this tree that's fallen down. I'm just going to do a little bit more detail on that. Put in a couple of lines. Makes it easier when we come to colour it in. There we go. So let's do this famous tail. I'm going to do this by drawing lots of little lines, just poking outwards. See what I mean? Going all the way up to the top. And we have to be very careful that we do exactly 13 alternating black and white bands on its tail, because that's how many it's got. And did you know that ring-tailed lemurs like to sunbathe in the mornings to warm themselves up? And they can live up to 15 years in the wild. Okay, we're just doing the tip here. I'd love to start my day by warming myself up sunbathing if I had the time. That would be amazing. Would you? Let me know in the comments section. So just come down. Can you see how I'm doing little furry lines? And can you see how they're going in different directions? So these ones are going diagonally upwards in this direction. And then when we turn the corner, they're going diagonally upwards in the other direction. Makes it look super fluffy. So if you haven't gone over it in pen, do so now and then erase all the pencil marks. Okay, so these are the colouring pencils I'm going to use. That's all that you really need. Or if you haven't got these, then just grey and black, or even just black. Let's start off with the eyes. We're going to do them in orange. So press quite hard. Now, using our grey, we're just going to put in the markings. Can you see that I'm using zigzaggy lines? Can you see that? Just covering this upper part with these grey markings. Adding a little bit to the ears. The ears are actually white, but we're just showing the bits in shadow. Using the grey, I'm going to add in the areas that we're going to actually come to do in black, just so that I know, if I make a mistake, then it's not quite as hard to rub out as black. So let's do these markings around the eyes. And then this area is going to be in black. This shoulder's in grey, so let's go ahead and colour that in. And then the whole part of the back of the body is in grey. So when I use colouring pencils, if you've done any of my other tutorials, you know that I add layer upon layer. This gives it more depth and gives it kind of a 3D effect. So we start off with the lightest layer and we just cover it all first, which is what I'm doing now. The other little hand on this side. There we go. We're going to make it darker and make it look more realistic in a bit. But first of all, we need to put in the base layer. So just colour in with me. Okay, now the tricky part, we need 13 bands. So it's 13 bands of white. So let's start off adding the black areas. We're doing this in grey in case we're making a mistake. So I should probably delineate them first. So we're going to need 13 white bits. So that's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then the black tip at the end. Phew, that was hair raising. Okay, now I'm going to do them properly. So I'm just going over them using these kinds of short little lines. You can measure them out if you've got a ruler. I just love to live life on the edge. So these ones at the bottom are slightly thicker. The bands are thicker than the ones at the top. There we go. Or if you wanted, you could draw them in pencil and then you can just erase them if you get them wrong. That'll be a more sensible option than just going for it like I did. Okay. I'm using vertical strokes. Can you see I'm doing it upwards? Okay, brilliant. Now using my yellow ochre, I'm going to colour in this tree branch. So I'm just going to fast forward this. Let's go back to this face and I'm going to add some black now, just around the hairline. And also inside the ear on this side. Now for these markings, so. Just give them these big black eyes. There we go. And now for the muzzle area, we're going to leave this side slightly lighter, so I'm not adding that much black to this side. And we're going to colour in the rest all in black. I'm going to do a little bit on the top of this shoulder here, just along here on the back. Leave a tiny bit with grey just to show the light on the back of the fur. Just leaving like a little slither of grey there. And then again here, just leaving a little slither of grey just there. And I'm now pressing a little bit lighter as we go further down. A little bit darker here. So again, the same, I'm leaving a little slither of grey on the top here where it catches the light. And then a little bit darker down here where it's in shadow. Very dark in here because there's no light in there. And just a little bit of black on there. Can you see how it's taking shape? Now for the tail, it's super black on the tail, so press super hard. There we go. I'm now going to use my brown and just add a little bit of brown to the shoulder area, just here. Just very lightly. I'm also going to add a little bit to the tail. Just along the centre of the tail. There seems to be a little streak of brown. Not very high up, just to about there. And a tiny bit on the back side there. I'm going to use the same brown and I'm going to colour in the trunk of the tree underneath. So it's really dark under this bit. and particularly under here where it's in shadow. Going back in with this grey, I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow to the white areas. So just here, just a little bit, and a little bit underneath here as well. A little bit on the face. And also a little bit underneath here, just where it's in shadow, because although it's white, it's still in shadow. I'm going to add in a tiny bit of yellow ochre just to the fur here. And then using this grey, I'm going to go back over the black that we did before, just to kind of blend it all in. You see how it's blending in a bit more now? I said it was lots and lots of layers, and I didn't lie. Again with the black. That's the beauty of colouring pencils. You just build it up so that if you make a mistake, it's not too bad because you're working in layers, so you can just take a layer off using your eraser. Going to make these bands darker. Going to use the black for the trunk as well. And for the shadow underneath. I'm not going to do too much detail on this trunk, just to show that it's there. A tiny bit of black just here. And there we have our finished ring-tailed lemur. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, you're going to absolutely love this video. So click on the link now.